We've been covering the mass bird and fish die-off and asked the question, is it connected to secret government testing? That'll be my first question for Stefan Molyneux here in just a moment before we get into other issues with him. But Tim Frugier, the back office shipping department manager, ran back in here, and he said, have you seen the Mail Online, the Daily Mail newspaper? And I said, no. I'm going to show it to you right now. Have scientists discovered how to create downpours in the desert? And then the next graphic says ionizers produce charged particles into the desert air. Negatively charged ions rise with the hot air and attract dust. Moisture condenses around the charged dust. Eventually, this turns to cloud, which produces rain. Now, that's terraforming. Terraforming is a planet that's unlivable, technically, geoengineering. Now, there was a Nobel Prize winner, in 92, with the patents for chemicals to be added to jet fuel to create a cloud system over the Earth that would actually heat the Earth. I read to you Secretary of Defense Cohen in Army Times talking about tectonic weapons they've developed. It came out, last year? In fact, search the term. Israelis testing underground nukes to create earthquakes. That was in the Israeli newspapers. There's all sorts of craziness going on. But then we talk about it, and we're nuts. You talk to the average yuppie, and they just say this doesn't exist. If you told them a Model T car exists, if the government didn't give them the okay to talk about it existing, they'd say you were nuts. Scientists, again, have created 50 rainstorms in Abu Dhabi's Al Ain region just last year alone. And that's what they're admitting they're doing. So governments, they have a treaty back in 77 from the UN about this, banning it. Why would they need a treaty if it didn't exist? I've had the father of weather weapons, Ben Livingston, on the show, meteorologist. It's all there. And in our eugenics film, only one chapter. And it'll have more chemtrail info than anyone's ever put out. It's got all the patents, how they do it, how they operate. It's all compartmentalized. The average airline doesn't even know. It's added to the jet fuel manufacturers. And that's why 20 years ago, jets didn't leave trails that lasted more than a minute or two. Now they last for hours and hours and create that haze. I watched it yesterday. This is mass terraforming, creating bizarre weather. Then they offer their solution. Total government control. They want to be God. That's what eugenics is all about. But here it is. Have scientists discovered how to create downpours in the desert? And then they just go on and admit the whole thing. And when you look at these towers, this is what the Atlantic Richfield 1960s HARP patents state, is that it was weather control by ionizing the atmosphere. And if you go out to Alaska and other HARP facilities, they've got one near Austin, and you look at these, they always claim they're Doppler radar or they're just testing the atmosphere. No, these are weather control systems. This is exactly what has been built all over the world with your money. And, of course, we have a nice photo of the Queen of England hanging out with the Sheikh in the United Arab Emirates. They're enjoying their weather control there, just completely disgusting. All part of playing God and controlling our atmosphere. Very interesting information. So this is all going on. So if we have a government that admittedly thousands of times has run tests, in some cases thousands of times per test, so we're in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands overall, nerve gassing troops, radiating foster children to death, and every major government does it. What is that all really about? Setting the precedent that the control freaks are God, that we're animals, creating cadres that will follow orders to kill upon order? What is it really all about?